Lydia here, and I apologize because the wonder of time zones completely threw me off. So we are in a different time zone than what's listed on the flyer. So 12:30 is my 11:30, and I was thinking 12:30 and went with 12:30, and that is now. So you are catching this naturally on the replay. Nevertheless, this is such a valuable tool, and I'm really excited to be able to share it with you, as well as honored, because I know that this is a tool that, especially over the last year when we were all entering the great rest, that it was really, really beneficial to lean in to stillness and to lean into awareness. So I want to start with a little bit of kind of number interestingness. So as I mentioned before, I love numbers. I love studying about them and just how they all move and correlate together. That's just really fascinating to me. And so in particular, looking at the number 21 and looking at the Hebrew alphabet, all of the letters of the alphabet are related to numbers. That's the numbering system. It's built in. So the 21st letter in Hebrew, which is Shin, it means transformation. And when we think about how this has the ability to be a truly transformative year, it is terrifying, it is exciting, it feels kind of overwhelming. And then to look at the fact that the 20th letter in the Hebrew alphabet, which is Resh, so it's the R sound, it means a time of division, meaning of setting up greatness and degradation. So you can go in two completely different paths with that one letter with regards to words and how it's used and those kinds of things. So realizing that just being in that time of rest last year, it was for many people a separating ground, not just in the surface level in terms of things that were happening in the world around us, but realizing that internally it was a call to either apply or to fall away, right? To feel really overwhelmed, again, with those really big emotions, and to feel like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Everything is just falling apart. High anxiety, high fear, high frustration, just really high emotions. At the same time, it was an opportunity to stop and to listen and to lean into what was getting ready to happen. What is generating? What is it that is on the horizon that I need to stop and look around to see what's going on next? So from that, and looking at this as a time of transformation, the art of stillness, which I am yet a guru. I am yet a guru. I am still very much learning and incorporating and just continuously blessed by it as a practice. It is one where it's a time to basically surrender our will. And this isn't just, surrendering to whatever, but it's a time that for me as a believer, as a follower of our Creator, as a follower of Christ, that I am setting myself before my God. I'm setting myself before my Creator, and I'm allowing Him to really, I choose to say it this way. I choose to place myself before Him, to allow myself to hear Him speak and allow myself to be in His presence. We are human beings, not human doings. And as someone who is very, 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 very performance driven, very, 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 very motivated to make the mark, to pass the class, to do all the things, to mark all the check marks, to be in a place where I'm just simply loved and accepted and received because I just am, can feel really tough. And I know for many people, that sense of I get to just be in this moment and I don't have to perform, I don't have to say anything, I don't have to be witty, I don't have to do anything. but just simply be, is very terrifying. It's very emotionally charged, those big emotions again. And most of us choose to walk away from the opportunity to be still and to be aware. And I am proud of you for even watching this to say, I want to do better. I choose to do better. So a little bit about what that looks like. So at its very just kind of outer shell core, it's choosing to set aside to invest in yourself 5 to 10 minutes every day. Some people will go much longer. I recommend to start with 5 to 10 minutes to start, just because it's a time of practicing. How does one say? It is a time of practicing focusing your will. It's a time of, yeah, there's going to be thoughts running through your mind, and you're just going to let them pass. They come in and then they go out. They come in and then they go out, and that's it, right? And from that, the more that you're training yourself and the more that you're allowing yourself to be disciplined in that way, the more you can then open yourself up to be present again in front of the creator. So it's not just that I'm open to whatever, because realizing that there's a whole spiritual realm, that's a whole other conversation, right? But yet realizing that there is a spiritual realm and we're choosing who it is that we're present in that space with. And so very intentional about that. The outcome of that stillness and the outcome of that awareness is embracing our being, number one. There's number two, recognizing that we're not a physical body with a spiritual core, but that we are a spiritual being that just happens to be in a human body. I know. For me, if you told me that 5 years ago, I would have went, what? Right? But it's true in terms of how we go about experiencing the world. And it's part of why so much of what's happened in the last, I'd say 12 to 18 months has been so dynamic beyond just the physical. There's really all sorts of additional areas to it. So focusing on where we are. So it's being willing to just be. It's about acknowledging the form that you were originally designed and that God had in mind for you from before the foundation of the world. And it's also tuning our ears to hear him. So the part I love about being in a place of stillness is knowing that I invite the Holy Spirit to be a part of that process. And I invite my God, my creator, to show up, and he does. And he's always present. He's always with us. He's always there. We're just placing ourselves in a position to actually see, hear, and experience him. So after that time of stillness, there may be impressions that come during that time of stillness. There may be a sense of comfort, a sense of peace that comes in that time of stillness. When I'm having a really, really, really rough go of it, and there's just that need of grounding, it creates a place of grounding. And as Crystal had already shared earlier today with doing an aroma reset, that is just a really powerful way to just go, okay, I'm just going to get right back on track, right? So it is as simple as having a space, hopefully, or ideally, a space that is with little or no interruptions or distractions in terms of sounds or things to see or things to clear up. Okay, so when you hear someone say, or you've heard the phrase, a cluttered desk denotes a cluttered mind, having a cleared out space, having a set aside space that is just okay, it's not filled with chaos, helps with being able to process that stillness even more. And so for many, that time of stillness may come from just going outside, going for a walk. Ideally, the stillness is with your body physically still and in a position of just sitting and receiving. just sitting and receiving. And then from there, you just go. I will say for the stillness time that I incorporated today, the impression that I received, and it was so comforting, was that peace reigns in my life. And knowing that that's part of what my Creator has for me, it's just sitting and waiting, and I just have to be willing to receive it and to say thank you and to incorporate it, is pretty powerful. It's pretty awesome. So if you're wanting to dive a little bit more into what stillness is versus what stillness is not, I'd be more than happy to share some more mini chats with you about stillness. I have a kind of mini 7-day, it's a 6-7 day walk through what stillness is not. Because again, it's one of those misunderstood things where we go, wait, stillness, silence? I don't like that. That makes me feel uncomfortable. When honestly, that's so much a part of the universe we live in. Let's just call it, right? Most of the space in outer space is completely silent. It's a vacuum. So, being in a place where we choose to embrace that as part of our journey, it will shift things by leaps and bounds. I promise you that. So hope this was helpful to you. Again, my apologies for the time zone shift, and we will see you later on this afternoon as we connect with heart centering. All right, cheers.